while the bridge will be closed for the repair works. Effective today. As of yesterday, they may be completed. I think there was some striping works that they need to be done, but from what, nothing is guaranteed. Mother Nature will do what it's going to do and what it does. And so if this is the case,
Jimmy Smith and Councillor Alfred Williams applauding Bahamas Hot Mix for completing.
Taking a look at, whatever may foresee as a problem or a hardship for us during this hurricane season.
While many applauded political move.
I could say this from my chairman. Chairman know me. I definitely don't have any. It was never a political move. It was never this causeway, and when it's fixed, what political side you on.
Port Authority City Maintenance Deputy Director. In addition, I'm Jolanda.
On the island of Grand Bahama, spoke with the local focal is of the view that the retailers that would result in an immediate increase in fuel price. In the Lucaya area today, the agency distributed pamphlets containing safety advice on how to safeguard.
Well, definitely. Therefore, suspicious persons that may be
policing drug demand reduction and development with the Grand Bahama.
From the homeless population, they might have what we call substance use disorder. So find out are there individuals who might be
the urban centers in residential areas and given us the direction on the marching band.
To strengthen our partnership, sure that proper building code procedures as well as...
The father of 4 was reportedly untimely passing. Here's that report.
Loving and caring while also understands it was an accident and are now just holding on to the memories of Jeremy.
He was a manly boy, hard-working. We had no problem with him.
Police reports indicate that shortly after 11 a.m. on March 7th, operating a forklift when he accidentally hit a power line. His grandmother now remembering that day.
I went back to work, but he called me on the phone. So he told me, somebody call him, say, Jeremy. I don't know how I'd feel. I lose my head and all.
And his grandmother says this is very tough with losing both of them in just a short period.
They're washing, because right now they're washing now. By God's grace, I'm trying to pull it through.
For Jeremy's homegoing celebration, which is expected to take place in the next 2 weeks. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern...
And 20-year-old Kadisha Gibson has been arraigned before Magistrate LaQuay Lang in the Magistrate's Court for multiple offenses. Possession of an unlicensed firearm with intent by means to endanger a life. Gibson, clad in a black sweater, required to enter a plea. The prosecution objected to bail as they was granted bail in the sum of $5,000 with one surety. The matter was adjourned to May and ammunition. Subsequently, they were granted bail in the sum of $6,000. Hawley was charged with causing damage to a black sum of $2,500. He was ordered to sign into the Central Police Station. 44-year-old Watson Emile of Dundastown, Abaco, was arraigned before the Abaco's Magistrate Court for possession. Higgs, also of Dundastown, Abaco, was arraigned before the Abaco's Magistrate Court for cruelty to children. He was sentenced to 12 months, and for assault with a dangerous instrument, he will spend 8 months at the Bahamas Department. $1,275 in default. He will serve an additional month. Company that he claims is being dishonest about the legal circumstances.
A sleeping giant today, because as much as I fought for people,
hit and run accident on West Sunrise Highway.
Said over and over and over, insurance companies always toured with them for years.
A letter issued by Garvey's lawyer to the insurance company is demanding payment in accordance with Section...
Person issuing a policy of insurance under this section shall be liable to indemnify those persons or classes of persons.
2020.
That is absolutely unacceptable. And today, I stand firm that...
Taking into account his son's age, fighting for something much greater, his legacy.
Yes, the money will help me also personally and the family, because... And it's not only that, it's for no other person.
Insurance company for a response on the matter, but they declined to comment on the issue. The evening allowed family and friends to meet and pay respects to those who lost their life after battling kidney.
Preparing for the unexpected and supporting the voice of the Kidney Center here in Freeport, Assistant Director of Communications at Ground.
But yet there are smiles because you remember with fondness these people. They were just events for us to remember them.
Even as a current patient herself.
And he spoke very truthfully about our road on this journey, falls, and avoid them.
Well known to the community, Chef
Okay, your diet is very important. And if you're a person that suffers from high blood pressure, you get a physical checkup at least once a year from your doctor.
He wouldn't trade them for anyone in the world.
My journey so far for the past 2 years, like I mentioned,
They have a cadre of staff here who are very helpful.
Each year on March 9th. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shane.
After the building they lived in.
Minister of Transport and...
Hey, what's up? Good morning. It's your girl Gigi, and with your favorite mix of Afro beats. And come on, man, let's dance right on into the afternoon.
Everybody back up in the building. It's been a minute, tell me how you're healing. Cause I'm about to get into my feelings. How you feeling? How you feel right?
Dilapidated building they were in. Living
air for Trevor Morley and apartment complex and say it has been a major shift in their way of living.
When it rained, boy, we don't even know when it rained. Took some time for the sinking, but
with Barber, Morley would receive a special gift from the.
I don't even know how to act. I'm gonna have to be sociable, which is a good thing.
As Duncan described, it felt like living for the moment at hand.
Like I ordered somebody give you.
According to Lundy,
how grateful we are, to see our brothers and sisters coming
and make it happen.
For the Bahamas is doing this Sunday, March 12, on the church grounds. The bishop says he wanted to give back to the community in a tangible way to go when he received hundreds of pairs of slippers.
We got a team together that they were able to go to walk around now. Most of the persons you see on the street, they're walking in those slippers.
And because he was obedient and faithful with little, he was blessed with.
We are identifying churches on the Family Island, the pastors and so forth like that. And we are sending now pallets upon
King Dorian and the pandemic, and he wanted them to know they were not forgotten.
The police officers were able to get close to, the chef at the hotel, their uniforms for chef and the cooks at home. We brought in wheelchairs and crutches and walkers. We doctor, every nurse, the surgeon, we have uniform for all of them.
However,
we have gloves, we have masks, and you name it. The school, the old folks' home, churches and all of that.
And on Sunday, March 12th.
It's here that will be here for you on next week's Sunday.
Your Friday evening sports check is up next with Jay.
Good evening, I'm Jay Philippe. On this past weekend in New Providence.
We had Sylvia Bateman, who came second overall in the female category. We had Remus in his category. But the most, person who made us extremely proud, they all did, was Lonnie Duncombe. Lonnie not just won his age category, 3 disciplines. And so when you look at a 15-year-old, beat all the adults, all, foreigners alike, beat them all. She's the 2019 World Triathlon Champion, and she does the triathlon coaching here in Grand Bahama.
Last year, so it was higher competition and I felt more pressure. It was hard.
At 10 a.m.
It's Grand Bahamas. We know who's up there, and what are we looking for? We look over the years, and we believe that Grand Bahama ball on a great team.
And ladies and gents, I'm Jay Philippe. Have a great weekend.
For all your prescription needs and medical supplies. Get all your health and beauty items at the same time. And don't miss our huge choice of snacks to satisfy your cravings. Tackle for that next special event. Save more drugs, your more store.
Solutions. BTC is best for us. Hello?
With fiber, we save more on fast, reliable internet. And we can prove it.
Go to BTC's.
Link up with better value.
Link up with BTC.
On your marks, get set, go!
Grand Bahama. Get ready. Max is on Saturday, March 18th at 9 a.m. at the Grand Bahama Sports Complex, featuring University of South Carolina and Vanderbilt University, calling all corporations to join the Corporate Challenge event you don't want to miss. Contact 439-6161 or email info@islandrelaysbahamas.com for more information. In lieu with Island
North. Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Our Facebook friend of the day is our entire news team here in the north. I'm Amiko Knowles. Have a safe and wonderful weekend. Be sure to stay tuned to the...
Debate on the midterm budget ends. 7th straight GSSA title. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report starts now. Pleasant good evening. I'm Desmond Saunders. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks for joining us. Found stabbed to death at their Old Fort Bay home back on March 24th, 2015. Legal wrangling in the case. You may recall that a jury initially found Vasily guilty of murdering her husband, and should well with Vasily, who took her case to the Privy Council in London. In March of 2020, the Privy Council quashed the first retrial and has been out on $250,000 bail since 2017. Vasily's legal team was led by Jamaican national feels about the verdict.
To get a unanimous verdict of not, which has now come to an end. She's 8 years that have passed since her husband's death.
Attorney Gomez also provided some insight on how his team was able...
Vasily was found dead in his house, and there was no evidence, complete doubt as to how he died, and the allegation that Vasily was the one who inflicted the wound to his neck.
Sometime before 5 o'clock this morning, an intense investigation into the matter continues. Ulster Authority of ignoring their cries, and despite officials saying they would meet with them, it has not come to pass. Cleopatra Murphy.
Opening of the straw market as of Monday, a group of vendors protested the move they say will hurt their pocket.
If you have 500 persons and only 250 show up on a day, you will have less competition, more funds to spread around.
Vendors have been on rotation working 3 to 4 days a week. Only those on the outskirts benefit because tourists are reluctant to move through the facility that gets too hot, leaving many to go home days without a dollar.
11 said they want full rotation. 220 said they want the
for him, and he is ready for a full reopening.
Everywhere else you go open up 7 days a week to work out. I want to work because I'm self-employed. No one should tell me I should come to wait 3 days and off 3 days. No, who want to wait 3 days?
But many are still hurting due to the pandemic.
15 months, we live beyond 15 months. Right. We are here to stay. So 15 months, yes, it was a relief, but many vendors, because of the pandemic, used back to little or no income. How is that going to work?
The vendors are appealing.
Chairman of the Straw Market Authority, Barrington Sam Carter, says the market was designed to be open for
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for A group, and the B group will go on from Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday, and it will rotate each week. All to make sure I don't look empty for a stall when a tourist is going through. I did that, and 3 years open at this particular time to get the food store, the churches, and everything. 4 days or 3 days and charge them for 7 days. Again, it'll be against the law.
Carter explains that with the existing rotation, some vendors are also disadvantaged.
Come in, the shifts are in, and you are saying, and you know, God-given rights. I'm not against demonstration. I mean, like I said to you before, the market is designed to open for 7 days, and that is why it is open. We're going to open it on Monday morning.
Minister of Economic Affairs, Senator the Economic Affairs Minister says the government has been in discussions with the group for many months to discuss margin increases.
In all of our discussions, we have made it quite clear, and I've done so in the meetings and I've done so publicly, is that moving from a fixed tax to an ad valorem tax, a tax that goes up and down depending on the fuel, immediate increase in the price at the pump. For consumers, for business people, the government of Bahamas is not prepared to entertain it. Simpler.
Alcides invited the association to continue talks with the government.
It is unproductive. As a matter of fact, it is counterproductive. Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's continue the dialogue. There's always a way to come to an amicable solution without taking a hard, sympathetic. We have been sympathetic to their pleading, and we've taken certain action that has brought some relief. And where we can, we'll continue to do so.
Well, residents formed long lines at gas stations throughout the capital when they heard about the potential closure.
Economic affairs position. I don't agree personally with the economic ministers. Not on our side.
Albassian claims gas stations in New Providence.
It won't be tonight. I don't know when. I can't see if we're closing or if we're not closing, but I know based on it, when we open the business.
Crossing over now to news from Paul, and also addressed some concerns as he wrapped up debate on the mid-year budget in the Senate Thursday.
To ensure that all Bahamians and residents benefit from the reinvigorated domestic economy.
For the country's finances, we resolved not to increase taxes, but to achieve improved revenue administration, control of expenditure, cost control, keeping spending.
$500,000 budgeted for the construction of a new women's shelter and safe house. He explained why it will not be built during
2 premises, these things, 2 premises, and there's a 13,500 square foot building that will be used. I won't say the address because, because of the need for speed, we will lease the spaces and seek to reintroduce.
Thomas tonight, I'm Fern Carey.
Opposition Senate leader Darren Henfield, in his comments come amidst talks about whether the national insurance contribution rate should be raised, whether there will be a tax, or if there is a need.
Put a lot of hard-earned money into there, and they expect at the end of the day that they're going to be able to benefit us.
You by Sun Oil Limited Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
Performance with over $1.7 billion in assets. We performance to remain. We are Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
You better come and satisfy that hunger with a great pick meal for only $20 at KFC before doing something crazy. $20. A finger-licking good deal.
Bahamians are for exotic cocktails by the sea. Unwind and enjoy. For Bahamas resident rates at Lighthouse Point, call 242-373-1333 or what's
on Paradise Island isn't sitting well with hotel executive, while government touted negotiations. Sylvie Munnings has more.
Not so fast. Too many red flags and questions is what Atlantis' president and managing director Audrey Oswald stipulated for, with so many unanswered questions regarding its environmental and economic impact. Immediately, despite the outstanding environmental review. But what's needed now, Oswald contends, is a heightened level of security and discourse. She lamented and is overdeveloped or beaches altered in any way, the Paradise Island and Western New Providence beach lines would suffer. She's excellent planning, but she says they have yet to receive a response. Other concerns have been adequately assessed. The potential threat of Paradise Island's water source through the project's desalination and Wardlick Beach. Oswald implores the public to insist that government puts a brake on this project by sharing their concerns with the.
Though unable to provide a figure on just how much the government is spending acquiring land to redevelop Family Island airports, Deputy Director General of Tourism Dr. Kenneth Romer says is significant but a necessary process in the public-private partnership initiative.
We are aware that there were issues as it relates to the compulsory acquisition of land, more specific to the Deadman's Key Airport and also the into Eleuthera. Those, and Cat Island to some smaller extent. So those matters reside in terms of land acquisition matters in the Office of the Prime Minister, and I'm advised that they have been given the appropriate attention. So we are aware of the land acquisition matters, the commonage and quite a bit of the other, but we don't see that as major impediments to us delivering again on the timelines to open these airports. The community has been very welcoming and they want this to happen. I think they're prepared to partner again with us to resolve some of those land acquisition matters.
The Institute of Culinary Education in New York City recently learned why they should visit Nassau and Paradise Island. Nassau Paradise Island Promotion Board CEO Georgia Ballou and her team hosted top U.S. consumer and trade media as well as their partners to an evening of exciting destination updates and delicious Bahamian cuisine.
when the weather is cold and people are a little tired of winter, and to showcase all the images of Nassau Paradise Island, where the temperature has just been superb. But nothing tells a story like a photo, and I think we really captured the imagination of all of our guests this evening. We have direct airlift to Nassau from 3 airports out of New York, one of the very few destinations that can boast of such a fact in the Caribbean. In addition, we have JetBlue that's launching a daily direct flight at the end of March from LaGuardia Airport to Nassau. And so with that type of connectivity, we want to do everything that we can to support our airline partners and to let them know that we're in this partnership with them together.
The event also highlighted the promotion board's 24-hour Times Square initiative, bringing bright 3D billboards representing the Bahamas, legendary Bahamian entertainer Lady E, master mixologist Merv Cunningham, award-winning chef Jamal Small.
I think it's very important to attend an event like this in New York to show New Yorkers, and by extension the world, that Nassau Paradise Island is not a commercialized destination, that we have so much to offer, and we have unique and authentic culinary and mixology experiences unlike any other place that you can find in the world.
As a culinary ambassador for the Bahamas, it was very important, you know, let all our guests know what we really have to offer culinary-wise.
All Bahamian celebrity chef Simeon Hall Jr. proudly represented the Bahamas at this year's Charleston Wine and Food Festival in South Carolina. Chef Hall and his all-Bahamian team served Sunday barbecue, pigeon pea slaw, and the signature dish, conch sausage dogs with house-made relish, muttersick sauce, and banana ketchup. Sounds good, right? The popular Bahamian chef noted that events like the Charleston Wine and Food Festival allows him the chance to celebrate Bahamian food and culture to the world. Well, in other news tonight, steady progress being made towards full implementation of the Freedom of Information Act, long passed, but only partially enacted. According to Minister of State for Legal Affairs, the Honorable Jomo Campbell, as it stands, draft legislation has been prepared to be finalized and approved by April.
Renovations have begun on the new office space in the Bahamas Financial Center. But there has been some delay due to required materials that needed to be sourced by the vendor. Approval was given, and the FOI is in the process of opening a bank account, which is critical in the independence mandated by the Freedom of Information Act 2017. The process to engage a financial officer, an IT manager, and a public relations officer, along with other necessary personnel, has already commenced. In conjunction with the Digital Transformation Unit, we completed the specs for the tracking system, and the website is also being developed.
Virtual introductory meeting was held last month for information managers of the 10 pilot agencies.
As for the building of the Freedom of Information Unit, identification of the officer who will comprise the unit, officers who will comprise the unit, has begun. Now, the separation of the Office of the Information Commissioner and the Freedom of Information Unit requires acquiring additional spaces. The use of this space will include the housing of the Freedom of Information Unit, a training facility for both the office and the unit, which will remove the need to rent meeting halls for training purposes. A facility for the hearing of appeals on the Freedom of Information Act 2017 is also underway.
The United States Embassy here in Nassau setting the record straight tonight. In a one-sentence statement, the U.S. Embassy confirms, contrary to recent U.S. congressional testimony, the People's Republic of China has not built the biggest embassy around the globe in the Bahamas. This is response to a CNN story Wednesday referencing testimony from the head of U.S. Northern Command that the Chinese are aggressively pursuing their economic origin in the Bahamas and built its largest embassy in the world here in the Bahamas. While the Pan American Health Organization, teaming up with several local groups to promote mental health with the launch of its Green Bench campaign on Saunders Beach. PAHO and World Health Organization representative for the Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos Islands, Dr. Eldana Borson, speaks to its importance.
This is the Green Bench campaign, whereby if you see on the front of the bench, we have a QR code. So people can sit there. We want to encourage people to sit, perhaps talk about their issues with a friend, and to scan the QR code to see where they can go to seek help and to seek treatment. And you know, sharing and speaking about how we feel and what we're doing is not unusual. Nowadays, we have about 45 million messages or photos shared every minute. So this is not something that is unusual.
While the rising prevalence of mental health conditions in the Caribbean, a major public health concern, Wyson hopes their efforts could end the stigma associated with mental illness.
It means those with mental health issues need to feel comfortable to be open with it, but that can only happen if people without mental health issues are also open, not stigmatizing, not being discriminatory. It means that we should be open to listening to people. We should be making people feel empowered to speak about their issues in the same way that we speak about any of our other illnesses, cancer, diabetes, or anything else. It's an illness that can be treated and that people should feel open to speak about.
Health and Wellness Minister, the Honorable Dr. Michael Jarvel, recently welcomed the Caribbean Public Health Agency's Regional Tourism and Health Program and Foodborne Diseases Director, Dr. Lisa Indar, at the ministry's meeting street headquarters. The meeting, a prelude to CARFA's 67th Annual Health Research Conference, to be held at the Atlantis Resort next month under the theme Caribbean Health and Tourism Pathway to Recovery and Resilience. The conference is a platform for showcasing ongoing research to help Caribbean people better understand the intricate linkages between tourism and health. Well, now time for the weekly poll question. And this week we're asking, should repatriation exercises be extended to more family islands? Yes or no? Well, here are the results for this week's poll question. Many of you voted overwhelmingly in favor 100% for this on both our website and Twitter pages. 94% said yes and 6% voted no on YouTube. Thanks for your participation. There's more after this.
Tourism today. Bahamas tourism today.
The Ministry of Tourism Investments and Aviation is proud to announce its 14th Family Island Airport Public-Private Partnership. The comprehensive project seeks to build, improve, and maintain standardized airports throughout the islands of the Bahamas. Deputy Director General and Director of Aviation, Dr. Kenneth Rumer, tells us more.
That will be inviting qualified and experienced concessionaires to be a part of the design, the building, the financing, operating, the maintaining of a portfolio of some 14 airports across our archipelago. Airports have been identified in this particular launch on the 1st of March. And of course, it is going to totally transform the state of our airport infrastructure, which of course is linked to the experience for visitors, both domestic and also international, to our shores. So we're extremely excited about this first phase. These airports serve a extremely important use to island communities. It is used again to bring visitors, domestic and international. In the case of medical emergencies and evacuations, airports are essential. When it comes now to stimulating local economies, airports are essential. So we never underestimate or devalue the importance of airports, especially in a tourism-focused destination. So these airports, it's not just us investing in airports. There is linkages right now to the economy, to tourism, to health. So it's important again for our overall survival as a country.
For more information about the Family Island Airport PPP, please visit doabahamas.com. I'm Joshua Robbins, and this is Tourism Today.
Trouble, it might drag you down. If you get lost, you can always be found. family guardian. We offer full protection. Join the family, join the family, family guardian. Protect the ones you love, a friend that you can trust. Family guardian.
TCL Group and Cable Bahamas Business Solutions present Grand Bahama Business Outlook 2023 under the theme Forward, Upward, Onward, Together. Our keynote speaker is the Honorable Chester Cooper, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation. Come join us at the Grand Lucayan Resort on Thursday, March 16th or attend via Zoom. Register today at tclevents.com.
As the COVID-19 pandemic enters its third year, the Americas, Director of the Pan American Health Organization is calling on countries to strengthen its surveillance, bridge gaps in vaccination coverage to end the emergency and better prepare for future health crises. The director addressed the press during PAHO's regional briefing this week, where he revealed that over the past 3 years, the Americas recorded over 190.3 million COVID-19 cases and over 29 million deaths.
I do believe that the most important part is how they can strengthen their surveillance system, how they can be more able to have a rapid detection and response system in place, how they can improve the laboratory capacity, including genomic capacity, of course, not in each one of the countries of the Eastern Caribbean, but as part of the network that PAHO is supporting the country, and how they can scale up their capacity when they are facing a public health emergency that will overcome the regular capacity that they have. So these were some topics that we have been observing in the countries, and I believe that this is the most part of the process now, is to review carefully, to implement all the lessons that we've learned with the pandemic, so we will be better prepared when we face a new public health emergency of international concern.
Meantime, PAHO officials monitoring threats posed by outbreaks of the H5N1 avian influenza or bird flu virus in South, Central, and North America.
The region of the Americas is clearly facing a very quickly evolving situation regarding the spread of H5N1. We have signals and reports from South, Central, and North America regarding H5N1 cases, outbreaks in animal populations. So in this context, PAHO, together with other agencies, including FAO, is monitoring the situation in both sectors, human health and animal health.
A pillar of hope, strength, and help to residents of the Baintown community for years. Residents admire his tenacity to help anyone in need. Carla Palmer has a story.
His name is synonymous with the Baintown community for decades. The Reverend Carlton Moss, better known as Reverend C.B. Moss, is the senior pastor of Mount Olive Baptist Church, located at the intersection of Augusta and Meadow Streets. He not only meets the spiritual needs of residents in his community, but their other wishes as well.
I know Mr. Moss a couple of years well. You know, we always helping the people, feeding. Christmas time, we do the old people, for the old people and everything. But you feed the people every day.
From I was a kid, around here, helping everybody, feeding, making sure the people clothes, etc., whatever. Great man in the community for years.
The man still provide even shelter back then when he had the vacancy to provide shelter.
If I had my way, I'd help every person I could go from door to door and help the poor, the sick, the needy, whatever.
And that's what C.B. Moss.
That's what C.B. Moss does, and I respect him for that.
From musical programs to feeding programs to clothing programs, there's nothing in this community one could say C.B. Moss has not contributed towards.
Every Wednesday, I go down there to Mount Olive to get food every Wednesday. And even, look at me, some of the clothes I have on, I got from there.
On an almost a daily basis, Reverend Moss would sit right here in front of his church, greeting passers-by and talking with residents. However, it was here at St. Agnes Anglican Church on January 10th at the Majority Rule Church service when life changed for Reverend Moss. He had a medical emergency and was hospitalized for several weeks in an induced coma.
He's a good man, guaranteed, and he did a good job, and he's still doing a good, even though he's sick right now, etc. But the people at Baintown Grandstand love him, love him. We're always praying for him, because the amount of waking things he did around here, ain't much people, some of them he never did, and he never been memorable around here.
Well, I and CB Moss really a God-fearing man. He really is a good man. I love him. He do his best, all he could do for the people, and I did not know, say, that's what I say within myself. I say CB Moss can overcome that. I say he can overcome.
I do wish him well. I wish I could see him.
Oh, he's a decent man. You know, it hurt me when I heard he was sick. You know, I prayed he got better. But yeah, he's an awesome man to me.
I pray that God will heal him and strengthen him through his hour of time.
Somehow we need to garner the support of this community and do something that is beneficial to him, to show our respect, the fact that, hey, we appreciate you.
Reverend Moss is said to be resting home comfortably. We wish him well. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Carla Palmer.
Great story there, caller. After 3-year hiatus due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the annual Red Cross Fair is back. Organizers making the announcement this morning during a press briefing at its headquarters on John F. Kennedy Drive. The Red Cross Fair has been a part of Bahamian tradition for 79 years now, serving as a major fundraiser for the organization that caters to the less fortunate throughout the country with its feeding program, monthly meal parcels, and other initiatives. From government house grounds to Clifford Park, the fair will now take place at Iraqi Heritage Site April 29th and 30th. Red Cross Society President Therese Curry encourages the public to support the event.
For this fair, we are hoping to raise, I think, in the range of $150,000, which will help to carry us through to the summer months. As you know, hurricane season is approaching, and as we prepare for that season and making sure that all of our family islands are ready, they have their supplies that they would need should something pass across their islands. This fair helps to furnish those needs so that we can make sure that the country is covered. So the fair is a very, very important event for the Red Cross. Yes, we just had our annual ball, and that did well. But that takes us only so far, and so we have to continue to fundraise.
Red Cross Fair Chairman Dwayne Hasty is promising a cultural explosion with attractions for the kids to adults like him. Director Alicia Pinder is also soliciting the public support for this worthy cause.
We have created a beautiful line of show. We have beautiful exhibits for the Bahamian people to experience.
Our programs are also in other islands, of course. Grand Bahama Center, we support them here based on fundraising here. Generally, we support Grand Bahama, Abaco, and any of the other family islands as funds and supplies are available.
Blood pressure screening, enrollment into national health insurance, and registration with the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities were some of the services available at the visually impaired community during a health symposium Friday at the Seventh-day Adventist Church on Soldier Road. Second Vice President for the Bahamas Alliance for the Blind and Visually Impaired and Education Committee Chair, Natalie Russell.
Health Symposium, under the theme "It's All About You," is to bring awareness to our community and family, friends, and by extension, the Bahamas about the benefits and
tools that are there to help persons who are blind and visually impaired to know that, hey, you may be faced with the circumstances, but it is not the end. There is things that you can do to stay healthy. There is things you can do to stay focused, to maintain your independence, and just to grow as an individual despite having a different ability.
Bahamas Alliance for the Blind and Visually Impaired president appealing to members of the public to respect and assist persons living with disabilities when they can.
We felt that it was important to have a health seminar because health is important to all of us. The health of a nation depends upon the wealth of a nation depends upon the health of its people. And it doesn't matter whether you are blind, you're in a wheelchair, or you are deaf or hard of hearing, health is important. So we feel that in order to be successful, we have to teach our members how to prevent certain illness, how to manage their present situation, and to prevent different illnesses.
As we head to the break, we'd like to thank all of our viewers watching us live on our social media platforms. Just in case you missed the news, be sure to head there to catch up. There's more after this.
Coming this March 12th through 19th, the Church of God of Prophecy Bahamas will host its 97th biennial national convention under the theme, Go ye therefore reconciling the world to Christ. Come hear anointed singing. There will be times of singing old hymns of faith. Come hear music with spirit by the world-famous Bahama Brass Band and Junior Band. Hear anointed preaching by various international and national leaders of the Church of God of Prophecy. On Monday night, the Church of God of Prophecy's National Bishop, Dr. Franklin M. Ferguson, will deliver his annual address. On Sunday, March 19th, there will be a convention parade. The streets will be lit up with the sound of music with spirit from the Church of God of Prophecy various bands. This will be a grand celebration you do not want to miss. Also, there will be a live radio and television broadcast. The Rhema word will be delivered by the presiding bishop, Bishop Dr. Timothy Coulter of the United States of America. For more details and convention highlights, check out the Church of God of Prophecy Bahamas Facebook page. The windows of heaven will be open and blessings will pour down this March 12th through 19th at the Church of God of Prophecy 97th Biennial National Convention.
25 years in business, nothing says commitment to our people, culture, and service like Rev. And this year is no different. We will continue to elevate your home experience for you to create and share memories for years to come, while keeping you connected to the people and things you love most. Our pledge to provide quality service each year remains true. Rev is made for you.
Disney Cruise Line will welcome its first guests to its Lighthouse Point cruise port on Eleuthera next year summer. The company says in a release that the cruise port, created in collaboration with local artists and advisors, will bring Bahamian culture to life for those that vacation there. The Minister administration signed an agreement for that cruise port that involved the acquisition of 190 acres of land on the southern tip of Eleuthera in 2019 that garnered pushback from environmentalists. Disney officials, however, ensure the cruise port is sustainably developed, adding that the project will use 16% of acreage and further 90% of electrical power will be solar generated on site, while Disney says the pier was designed to avoid additional dredging. Guests will also experience Bahamian culture at a Bahamian art and culture pavilion featuring local artists. Disney officials ensure that the cruise port is sustainably developed and will use 16% of the acreage, while Disney will donate more than 190 acres to government and Bahamians who will also have full non-commercial access. Ministry of Culture officials in Abaco this week adjudicating the much anticipated E. Clement Bethel National Arts Festival. The event gives students an opportunity to showcase their best cultural performance in either dance, art, drama, or music. And we wish much success to all students participating in this year's National Arts Festival. Well, it's time now for a check on Family Island weather temperatures with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Desmond. We're under mostly clear skies. Temperature a cool 71 degrees. Relative humidity at 62%. We have south-southwest winds at 7 miles per hour. The barometric pressure 1,016.7 millibars. That is 30.01 inches, and the pressure is falling. Temperatures around the Family Islands this evening. They are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 73 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, and Green Toll Key in Abaco, Marsh Harbor, Abaco, 74 degrees. 73 in the Berry Islands, Alistown, Bimini, 74 degrees. 71 in Harbor Island. Rock Sound, Eleuthera, 72 degrees. Black Point, Exuma, Kemp Space on Andros, and Freshwick and Central Andros, all at 74 degrees. Otterstown, Cat Island, San Salvador, and Rumkey, 72 degrees. Georgetown, Exuma, warmer at 75. 74 is in Ragged Island, Clarence, Long Island, and Crooked Island. Betsy Bay, Maguana, 75. Ackland, 75. Matthew, Tiny Nagua, 76 degrees. And the Turks and Caicos Islands at 74. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Paint Setter. In the northwestern islands tonight, most winds, they're going to be southeast to south at 10 to 15 knots. The wave heights 2 to 4 feet. High tide, that will take place at 9:50 tonight. Small craft caution are in place despite the winds are being not too strong, and that's due to some northeasterly swells which will carry right through the weekend. And in central and southeastern islands, southeasterly winds at 10 to 15 knots with those moderate swells once again. And as we take you into Saturday, for all areas, the winds become southwest to west, increasing in speeds 15 to 20 knots, and this is ahead of an advancing cold front which will go through late on Saturday. More details coming up on that late in the newscast. Wave heights, they're going to be building 4 to 6 feet over the ocean and some 6 to 9 feet in moderate to large swells. High tide will occur at 10:03 in the morning with the low tide at 4:13 in the afternoon. Now, on Sunday, for all areas, the winds will fall off northeast to east at 10 to 15 knots. The wave height subsiding 2 to 4 feet, but we will once again maintain those moderate swells throughout the 700 hours. High tide on Sunday, 11:43 in the morning. The high tide will take place at 5:54 in the afternoon. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. That's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned, your extended weather forecast is still ahead.
On May 1st, 2012, Rubis acquired the Chevron fuel business in the Bahamas, which traded under the Texaco brand. We are now celebrating our 10th anniversary of the Rubis brand in the Bahamas. Rubis has become the fuel brand of choice. However, our 10-year journey was not without challenges. We would like to recognize our dedicated members of staff and thank our customers for their continued support. We look forward to another 10-year milestone as we continue our journey.
Bahamians are rediscovering Grand Bahama through immersive staycation experiences at Lighthouse Point Grand Lucaya. Pamper yourself at our Senses Spa or savor exotic cocktails by the sea. Unwind and enjoy serenity, 18 holes of golf, fine dining, romance, business conventions and meetings, grand outdoor events. For Bahamas resident rates at Lighthouse Point, call 242-373-1333 or WhatsApp message 827-8195.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Good evening. Welcome to Sports Friday. I'm Charles Fisher. The GSSA Track and Field Championships all in the books. They have done it again. Yes, the Raptors of C.H. Reeves, the junior champs, with Estima Ferguson coming in second, and third, H.O. Nash Lions. This was the 29th version of the championship, and the Raptors have won an impressive 26 of the 29. Quite a feat for Coach Pharrell Clark Davis, athletes.
I'm surprised somewhat because, we didn't have sports for the past 2 years. So we didn't know what the children were going to bring to us when they came in September. I think the key to victory this year, my fearless, I work extra hard with them. I think if they want, you see most athletes come first and second or first and third. You must give the credit to, we have good coaches. Very good coaches over the years, and the program is always in place from I was there as a student, and so they'll actually live on through us, through the kids. We have two former students of CH Youth that actually coach at CH Youth, Mr. Stilly and myself, and so we pour in the kids that were pouring to us as we came through CH Youth as well. So hats off to the coaches, hats off to the athletes. They performed extremely well for us for the last 2 days. I'm very, very proud of them.
We will have a complete wrap-up on Saturday on the C.R. Walker Knights run to two-peat as the seniors wrapped up earlier today. Also on Thursday was the official opening ceremony. Entertainment was the call of the day. March past of the schools, 8 in the juniors and 8 in the seniors. Bringing remarks was the Minister of State for Education, the Honorable Zane Lightbourne, and opening the meet, the Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, the Honorable Mario Boleg.
I share the excitement of participants, students, schools, and coaches as we anticipate the results of this event. We often isolate academics from athletics. However, in today's world, it is crucial that we shape our students to become well-rounded individuals by being academically and athletically inclined.
To the athletes, always remember these 3 Ds: determination, the drive to succeed, no matter how difficult the task may be. Keep going and never give up. Dedication, the quality of your commitment and being consistent to achieve your goal. And the last but not least, discipline. It is a must. Discipline creates habits. Habits makes routine, and routine becomes who you are on the daily basis.
Well, tonight we introduce you to 16-year-old Akari Turnquest, a student at NGM Major in Long Island. He is perhaps the top junior player in the country, and interesting how he got involved in the sport of pool.
About 2017, my dad won a local pool tournament here. And when he brought the trophy home, I was like, jaw dropped. Like, I saw how big the trophy was. And I just wanted to, shoot pool and do that. But I didn't know how to. So I asked them to carry me to the Lloyd Sport Lounge. That's our local pool hall here in Long Island, the next weekend. So he carried me. And as soon as I walked in, I just fell in love with it ever since.
When most youngsters his age is into glamour sports like track and field, swimming, and basketball, Turnquest's eyes all focus on the ball.
It's been amazing. I've got a lot of experience. I played against people from all around the world, and I just love it.
Turnquest is just back from the Q Sports International Expo in Las Vegas.
It's about 7,000 participants overall, and it's just as soon as you walk into the first conference center, it's like experience out of this world. It's so huge. It's about 300 tables in 3 different ballrooms. It's amazing. I gained a lot of experience from it. It's very tough competition, and I've learned a lot. I came 13th in the men's platinum division. That's the highest rated division in the amateur circuit. And I came 13 in 9-ball and 8-ball in that division. And then in the juniors, I came 4th in the 9-ball and 7th in the 8-ball.
And is a career as a professional pool player on the table?
Yes. That's definitely one of my focuses. I also have a backup plan. If pool doesn't go well, I could fall back on that. Yeah.
Most people look at pool as a hustling game. Is that a career you want?
No, not the hustling side of it.
And this is one thing he made Bahamians want to know. give pool more credit like the other sports do.
Definitely doesn't get as much as it deserves. It's a really, really good sport. It can actually help benefit the Bahamas in the case of tourism, because we see these international pool tournaments all over the world. They bring in a lot of people, a lot of players, and a lot of crowds. So that's definitely something the Bahamas government should look into.
Nice young man there with a bright future. That's it for Sports Friday. I'm Charles Fisher. Enjoy your weekend.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
For hurricane season, we got impact windows and doors. For protection, just come to our store. Plus we got tiles to pretty up your walls and your floors. We'll help you brighten up for that big bad storm. Porcelain tiles, blank tiles, mosaic tiles, a variety of styles. Before teens get right, they gotta be rough. That's why we got the best deals in the whole Bahamas. Hey, hey.
March into your favorite Super Value and Quality Supermarkets location for great specials like Country Barn Mayonnaise, 30 ounce, $3.75. Amerlander Milk, assorted 1 liter, $2.49. Hill and Dale Eggs, extra large, 1 dozen, $4.29. Jamestown Bacon, 16 ounce, $4.99. Fresh ground beef, $4.99 per pound. Donate your change to help feed Humane Society animals at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, satellite pictures showing a pre-frontal trough pushing through Grand Bahama and Abaco, and that will provide some passing showers tonight as it continues to sink towards the southeast. That will be followed by the frontal system, which will move into the area tomorrow morning. That's over the extreme northwest Bahamas and pushing through the capital late on Saturday night. Behind that, we expect a nice little cool down to take place. Tonight, though, looking at clear skies with that radiation cooling, we'll see low temperatures getting down to about 64 degrees tonight, and tomorrow we're looking at mostly cloudy and breezy. Passing showers developing in the afternoon as that frontal boundary gets a little closer. The high temperature tomorrow should reach about 82 degrees. And your extended weather forecast looking like this. Showers increasing as we head into Saturday ahead of that cold front. Once that front goes through late on Saturday, we'll still have some residual showers looking around on Sunday. Temperature-wise, we're going to be in the low 80s during the daytime. Nighttime temperatures in the mid-70s, but there's a second front. This one will push through on Tuesday, and that will see temperatures sinking into the 60s. This will be a nice, chilly, cool land, and perhaps the coldest spell for the rest of this season, so do enjoy it while it lasts. Skies will open up as we head into the early part of next week, and that will continue right into next weekend. Desmond.
Thank you, Basil. And before we end, I want to remind you that daylight savings time begins this Sunday, March 12th at 2 a.m. It ends Sunday, November 5th at 2 a.m. That means spring forward, fall back. That does it for the Bahamas tonight. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. From all of us here at ZNS, thank you so much for watching. Have a good night and a safe weekend.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.